Okay, so a
Hi.
huge warm welcome to everyone. It's lovely to see so many faces on this beautiful session about attracting clients in difficult times. And it's my absolute pleasure to have linked up with Miquette, who just rang me out the blue maybe 6 months ago and said, how can I support mBIT coaches? How can I come alongside you and support the wider field of mBraining? And knowing that so many of us are solo entrepreneurs, that we are expert coaches, but we've not necessarily had sales or marketing training, and hearing about the background that was being offered, it seemed absolutely obvious to say to her, absolutely, if we could get on board with some free marketing and sales training, that would be amazing. And we were in the midst of designing that when COVID came along. And so in the light of COVID having come along, we thought we would do an extra standalone session, maybe even two. We've planned one for a fortnight as well, that looks at not only marketing and sales, but marketing and sales and some of the stuff that comes with that in the midst of a global crisis. So that's what today's all about. I am just hugely grateful that Miquette kind of reached out to me and said, how can I help the community? That's what we love to see. And this morning when I was in the shower, sorry to share that bit of information, but when I was in the shower, like you often have insights, it suddenly occurred to me there could be lots of other people in the community who have complementary skills that they weave mBraining into, who would also love to share that out to the wider community. So I'd be really happy to facilitate that and host that on an ongoing basis. If you've got something you'd love to share that you weave mBrain into, get in touch with me and we'll put some other sessions on as well. It'd be like a bit of a mini CPD really, while we're all in lockdown. Okay, I'm going to hush up. I'm going to hand over so that the lovely and compassionately creative and courageous Miquette can introduce herself and let us know about her background and why she put her hand up to do a marketing and sales webinar for us.
I better unmute.
Oh.
Well, firstly, I'm so thrilled to see so many people join us today. And I just want to point out just a couple more harmonious guidelines. One is that if you want just the speaker view, it's in the top right-hand corner where it says speaker view. You can press that and that just gives the view of the person speaking. But if you like to see everyone, which I always love to, you can go backwards and forwards through that. So I know some people like to do that. Then you've got a chat little bubble at the bottom of the Zoom room. And if you click that, you can open it. And I'm actually going to ask you throughout the process to answer the questions, to participate, because the more you participate, the better it's going to be for you. I can still hear some computer sound. Some people have them muted, so if you could just check, please. I can't mute you, but
I can mute from this end, so I'll just whiz down the list. No offense to anyone, but I'm just about to mute you if you're not already muted.
And if you go to the chat, you can actually type in what you want to say. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is a lot of the questions are going to actually help me learn and understand your needs better. And for Suzanne and I to come up with, more trainings for you, because who knows, we might do this on a regular basis. Today is going to be a little bit more high level than specific. And we chose to do that because of the situation, because of the virus and COVID, and also because I don't know you enough yet. And normally, if I was bringing training to the table, I like to know the people that are involved. And I firstly want to say thank you for all those that answered the 2 or 3 questions that I sent via private Facebook. That was really helpful, and it gives me a little bit of an indication. So what you'll find is some of you are way beyond maybe what I talk about today. Some of you are startup and some of you are somewhere in between. And that's okay. I'm hoping that you'll get something from it, and we can get more specific into your things either through questions or at another time. So we're all happy with that. You just put your hands up if you are. Yeah, good. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to share the screen now and move into a little bit about me and what we're going to cover today. And then what we'll do is open it up for questions as well. If you really do have a question, I'll sort of try, you know, like just write them down and we can come back to them. That'll probably be the best thing so we can get some flow. But if you really do need to say, hey, I had no idea what you just said there, Miquette, could you please explain that better or in more detail to us? Yes, please chime in. Just hit your unmute button and chime in so that I can answer it in that moment. It's usually better. All right? Okay, so I'm going to open it up, and as Suzanne asked me to tell you a little bit about my background. So here it is. I just thought I'd put it on the sheet and I'm just going to rattle down it really fast. But I've been, since my 30s, I've initiated about 7 small businesses. Most of these were more tangible than the sort of the digital world we live in. I had very, very successful personal training studio. And, you know, these businesses, some failed, some I walked away from because I really didn't like it. And some were very successful and I even sold a couple of them. So I've got that knowledge of ground knowledge of really starting from scratch. And I love startup actually because it allows you to put all sorts of wonderful strategies in place. I'm also a healer. I'm Bowen therapist for humans, horses and hounds, EFT practitioner, and explored very many other healing modalities in my life since I was about 18 years old. And I'm only a little bit over that now, but you know. So 15 years ago, though, I became a certified business coach with BBI in Australia. And during that time, I proved to myself that I was literally the worst salesperson in the world. Suzanne, if you can just moderate the comments, if you can just keep an eye on them because it's a bit hard to do both. So yes, I was the worst salesperson in the world. And this is absolutely true. I did around 100 strategy sessions for another influencer who was selling a digital online program and had 0 sales. And then I thought, hang on, this is not right. What's going on here? And, you know, I was given the scripts and the templates and the questions and everything, but it had nothing to do with that. It really had everything to do with my mindset and how to really relate and communicate with people. So life changed after that, and it became one of my absolute specialties and strengths. And I ended up specializing in working with small businesses, re-engineering their sales processes for profit, analyzing it, and then going in and helping them tweak things to lift their profits. I've sold programs over the phone from $17 through to about $50K over the phone for different influencers. 10 years ago, I set up and trained a sales team. Not knowing it, I was sort of hesitant to put this is why I put it in italics, using mBrain principles, because I didn't know I was using mBrain principles then. But I worked with getting in touch with your heart, with your head, what your head was saying and what your gut was feeling. And I taught my salespeople how to have conversations, working with the mBraining principles, first, also with their clients, but also with themselves in a way that created deeper resonance and really took everything away from the even though there was structure, it became a real, natural, genuine conversation and nothing sleazy or manipulative at all. So that was great. And we actually achieved $2 million of sales. This is one of my big achievements. Within 5.5 months, I started with 1 salesperson, ended up with a team of 12. And that home study program, in the days before it was downloadable by the internet, it was videos that was sent out, literally, and then DVDs, was nearly a $4,000 program that we made these sales with, 100 sales a month on to reach this figure. Then I had sort of semi-retired and went to Vanuatu, and I think all of you in Australia know where Vanuatu is and maybe have a little bit of background of it. But I lost everything 5 years ago in Cyclone Pam. And that's sort of where I've journeyed a bit and ended up in Mexico. But before I came, I went to Australia and became an mBIT coach. In fact, Bill Emery was my coach at the time, and I'm so ever grateful, and he's still a very good friend of mine. Every time I go to Australia, I meet with him, and we collaborate a little bit online sometimes. So I was able then to, didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I mainly did mBraining for myself, and because I wanted to get more clarity in how to trust my internal decisions and in my life. And that was the real motivation for mBraining. And I didn't feel I had enough of that in me up until then. And that's where I discovered I was actually teaching these principles many years ago. So that brings us up to now, where during the last 3 years, I've been consulting with other influencers and teaching their coaches. So they're coming out, the coaches are coming out really well qualified as coaches, but not knowing how to stand out from the crowd and not knowing how to find clients, ignite, nurture clients and turn them into clients. So that's what I really got involved in. And I absolutely love doing that. I love working with startup coaches or coaches that are just stuck and just need that extra oomph. And one of the areas that I specialized with them was to help them really get in touch with their uniqueness, their essence, and infuse that into their coaching so that they would have a unique program to offer to the people that they were going to serve. And I think that's really important as a coach, that you take what you have and your knowledge and you also claim it to be yours with your essence. Then how to basically, what the ingredients are to grow a business, how to find and attract clients, nurture them, and enroll clients. And we're going to touch a little bit on some of these today. And but that all came to an end in April last year, and it's really only been in the last 3 months that I'm now working with my own, not an influencer's lot of clients, but my own clients, and and I'm still working with them. I've actually got 2 groups, one in the membership group, one in a sort of a high-level mentoring group. Okay, I thought I'd throw in some personal details. I'm a horse whisperer, raw food cuisinist. I love to dance, tango, salsa, anything. And if ever anyone wants to invite me sailing, I'm there. I'll come with you. I love it. Okay, let's move on. It's more than enough about me. Let's move this away for a minute. I'll just go and put that down there again. Okay, so here's what, the reason why you're here today. And if you want to add anything in the chat box, you're certainly welcome. But, maybe things aren't working the way you want in your practice or coaching, or what you have, services and expertise you want. Maybe you're just feeling a bit stuck and procrastinating because of what's going on in the world today, or you're just not sure about certain things. Maybe you're feeling that selling yourself and putting yourself out in the world is a bit icky and feels yucky, and we don't need that. And maybe you're just a startup practitioner or coach here. I know from the feedback I got, there are some startups here, so welcome. And congratulations on your certification with mBIT as well. Or you're scared to be visible. Now, believe it or not, that has been one of my biggest hurdles, to step out and show up to the world. Like, bring the people to me or put me on stage. I'm very happy with that, and put me in workshops. I love doing that and everything. But being visible in the digital world has been a real hurdle for me to get over, but I'm here. Okay, so maybe some of that is the same for you. Maybe you just don't have the knowledge of what to do next to help grow your business, or you need more clients, or you're just unsure how to move forward in today's world. So have I sort of got a lot of the reasons why people are here? My computer is... Any added ones that I'm just going to have a little look down?
No different ones coming up in chat, but there is an absolute kind of feel that because of what's going on, things have changed. So what might have been very successful now isn't working as well. So there's that coming through on the chat line.
Okay, fantastic. So here's what I feel that will help, because I wanted to come also from an mBraining point of view, and to have to help you have a foundation of way of being, if you like, that can help you with everything. So this is what we want to explore. We need to explore, and we might have a bit of an open chat in some of this. What core mindset shifts do we need to pivot on, flex, maybe recreate in this world? All right, and then look at a sales and business confidence formula that I have created, that I think is going to bring you back to the essence of mBraining and how to adopt that more into your business. So we'll explore that a little bit. And then what to focus on at the moment that can serve you to help you move forward in helping you either build a foundation or move forward with you and your clients. So let's hope that will actually start to answer. Oh no, I hate it when that happens. I've got the little spinning wheel. Can I still move? Yes, I can. Good. Okay, so as I mentioned, if you can answer questions in the chat box as we go. Now, I've got the spinning wheel happening, so we'll just see what happens.
It's a beautiful metaphor for what's going on in the world, though, Miquette. It's beautifully timed by you to put that in there right now.
What's that?
The spinning world.
Okay, well, I can't move. I'm going to just stop share for a minute and see if it fixes itself. I might have to actually come out of technology. I'm going to actually have to force quit my PowerPoint and come back.
So just while Miquette's doing that, any immediate kind of questions, thoughts you want to share already? What's going through your head, heart, gut from what you've heard? Feel free to unmute yourself to answer that if you if you've got something that you'd like to share or be useful to share.
I'm fine for me, sorry. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it, Linda.
Just the empathy for my clients and their financial situations and things like that. So just trying to work out how that fits. I mean, I had issues around pricing my packages initially, and then I feel like I just got to a good stage with that. Now this happened, and I guess in our the work we do, we are closely connected in that way. So it's trying to find that balance now, which I guess a lot of people are probably dealing with.
Yeah. And Linda, are you working one-on-one or in groups?
Both.
Okay.
So I run a masterclass, and I kind of put out there, okay, I'll do it for free. But then it's kind of like, I still got to pay my bills. Like, how do you do that? Because you want to obviously give value and help people in this time, but including yourself in that at the same time is tricky, I guess.
Yeah, one of the people in the Next Level mentorship course raised this with me, and it was part of my discussion while we were setting this up, was it feels or can feel a little opportunistic, was her word, as if we're benefiting from somebody else's misery. And so, yeah, absolutely, we're kind of aware of that, and that's built into this to just get us to think about those core beliefs that lead to that, and how we might be able to reframe it so that it's not opportunistic, but it's actually providing a core essential value just when they need it most.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it really does need some thinking, Linda. You know, like I totally agree, and certainly I can have a bit of a chat with you to maybe look at those and come up with some creative ideas. Like if I look at your packages, I can come up with some creative ideas, or maybe how to position it a little differently and still be paid. Okay, so are you happy?
This kind of like a very different feeling in my three brains. Like my head feels quite overwhelmed at how much I need to adapt. I've had to buy all this new live streaming equipment, work out how to adapt activities in my course to work on live stream, and we've done 2 days of the 3 so far, and it's going well, so my head's starting to relax. My heart still feels open and wanting to help, and my gut, I just can't feel it. It's like normally I'm quite in tune with gut, but every time I check in with gut brain, it's like, no, it's not having any opinions at the moment. It's like it's just sort of gone, and maybe it's just sort of overwhelmed. I don't know, but there's just no, I just don't have info coming about my gut feel of what I should be doing, which is an unusual feeling for me.
I'm sure Susanna would say something, but my feeling is, because I know that, you know, in business and in this, I find that I have to go to my gut and say, hey, I need your support. Can you please step up? Can you activate yourself and step up and help me here? Because I'm sort of, I'm drowning, you know, or whatever. I'm shrinking, or I'm drowning, or whatever.
Yeah,
and it does help.
My cheeky response, Mel, would be, wow, how amazing that your gut feels so completely safe with what your head is recreating and what your heart wants, that it's not having to shout out. Because if there was a fear response running, absolutely, you'd be hearing it in some way, and it would be disrupting that beautiful head creativity.
Wow, I love that. Good perspective. Okay. All right, so we're back into we've got this happening again, so I'll go back there. And okay, looking at, did I go there? Yes, we went there. All right, so here, I'm just going to put out some mindset shifts that I've actually seen from, you know, and worked with the clients and coaches that I've worked with in my past. And so what I'm going to suggest is that you really consider whether you have any disempowering beliefs and assumptions that might be holding you back, and write them down. And if you can't shift through them, then work with somebody to do an mBraining session with, to help work these out. And here's some of the disempowering beliefs that seem to come up a lot. I'm not good enough, I'm too old, or it's too late. I'm a woman, I can't succeed into man's world, controlled by self-opposed expectations, which is a really interesting one. I'm waiting for the magic wand, and I forgot to add here, but it should be here. No one's going to want to do anything right now. And I've seen a couple of things happen. There seems to be people out there in the world at the moment, I'm talking about in general in clients, who are going, they're just trying to buy or get everything for free and buy everything cheap, right? And then there's a group of people that say, well, I'll just do, you know, and they do it all themselves. And then there's a group of people, I believe, that are just saying, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And this is part of the reason why I think today is important, because we need to be aware that there are people that are just on that edge of going, I want to do something, but I'm just going to wait a little bit before I make a decision. So that is an amazing opportunity, actually, to be able to build the relationships. And we're going to go more into that, right? So it's actually an opportunity. It's not like, oh, they didn't buy from me, because that's not what this is about. This is an opportunity to truly connect with the world. I don't think there's ever been such an amazing opportunity to do this. So one of the things that I will say is that psychology, whatever's going on in our heads, is more important, or just as important, as the mechanics of what you do. Because if you're feeling out of alignment, then it is going to be an uphill battle, or maybe you just don't achieve what you really want to achieve. You can be in stalemate stuck or something. So I really encourage you to explore that within yourself and really see what your heart and your head and your gut saying. And if you can't shift it, work with somebody to shift it. Great. Even pair up with colleagues is another, if you need to. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about the sales mindset, core mindset shifts. And Suzanne already touched on this. But sales is not about trying to convince anyone. If you are trying to convince someone, then you're not looking after them properly. You're not looking after them with care. So we don't want to try and convince anyone. We're going to invite them. And I believe right now, this is an opportunity to really step into your own power and your own leadership of the people that you can really help. And I say leadership in the sense of people are looking for others to help them get through certain things right now. So becoming that person that can truly help them and make an impact. So who do you want to become? Who do you need to become? And it's a progression thing. We're always growing, and self. We have this opportunity of continual self-development and growth. But it's like, okay, how do I need to show up for my people, for my tribe, for the people that I want to serve?
Can I just interrupt for a second? We've got a question
Absolutely.
on the chat before we go too far down the line. So people are getting the mindset bit. Before we go off of the slide before, really, can you just say something about the mechanics bit?
Yes, I'm going to go into some of the mechanic stuff today. Absolutely.
Lovely.
And we can do more on that at another time too.
Great,
so as I said, we're going to, my pleasure. And thank you for watching the chat because I can't watch it all. Now, so the other thing is that it's selling really, if you like, the bottom line is it's offering your services to solve other people's problems. That's the bottom line. So it's actually about being able to give, to help, and to be of service to people. And I think that's a major sometimes shift is like, I want to see that when I communicate with someone is, can I really help them? That's the question I ask myself in every conversation I have with someone. Sometimes what they need is not what I can really help them with. Maybe they're at a different level or they're going down another track. It's not my speciality. And I would truly encourage to stay with what you do. Don't try and be it all unless you have all the information and knowledge, and you certainly can use your different skill bases and expertise and knowledge and wisdoms, internal life wisdoms, to help people as well. So it's really about, that's the first thing I do is whenever I'm having a conversation with anyone, I go in with a mind of curiosity. Not trying to sell anything, but entering a mind of curiosity, because I really don't know if I can truly help them until I have a true conversation with them and really connect and see what's going on with them in their life. We're going to talk a little bit about this. And the other thing to succeed is that even now in today's world, you might pivot and alter what you're going to do as a promoter and marketer and attracting clients, but we still need to think a bit like a marketer. We need to have that hat on sometimes. So I don't know, and I love to find out who here is a solopreneur, or whether you just, if you've got a team, can you just tell us whether you've got a team of helpers, or are you just solopreneur? If you're a solopreneur, just put yes. And if you've got a team, just put a T in the chat box. I just want to see what comes up. I sort of feel most of you. Solo, yep. Okay, good. Most people, I think, agree, yep. Yes. Can this be our chapter 9ing? Absolutely. Why not, Mona? If not now, when? Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Gratitude for this opportunity to listen to me. I'm starting work. Okay, no problem. Okay, yeah. So most of us are solopreneurs and have a venture, or we might have a partner involved, which is almost solopreneurish, but it can be better. So when we're solopreneur, we tend to be doing everything, and we have to have the coaching hat, the sales hat, and the marketing hat, in a sense, right? So we do need to put on our marketing hat sometimes as well, and sometimes we need to learn how to do that. So I want to go through now. This is my, what I came up with is my ultimate sales and business confidence formula to enroll more clients with integrity, ease and joy, because it should be joyful, and it shouldn't stress you out too much, without ever being pushy or using manipulative tactics. And I don't know about you, but that's not how I want to be. I want to do it with confidence, with ease, with integrity, with joy. Hands up if anyone's on the same table with me. Anyone? Yeah? Okay, good. We've got a lot of hands up. Terrific, terrific. Okay, well, we're all of like mind. That's great. So here's my confidence formula. I'll just give you the headings and then we'll go through it. So the first one is connect. And you really could say connect and compassion go hand in hand. We'll explore that more. The next is creativity. So what I did was I went, okay, I love mBraining to be part of my business model. So this is sort of what it is. Everything fits into these 5 circles. Next one was courage. I'll just download that. Courage, competent, and consistency is really what can help give us confidence and success. So let's have a little explore of that. Now, I put connect with compassion. And the reason why I chose the word connect is because for what I teach, it's sort of that, because I'm teaching you how to track more clients, enroll more clients, then that connection part is very important. And have any of you come across a website called Word Hippo? It's amazing. It's got the best dictionary of synonyms, antonyms, sentences and everything that I've ever seen in my whole life. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it because it stimulates my mind in getting deeper understandings of things as well. And so here's some of the things on the left that they say about connect. It involves 2 or more parties. It's a coming together to form a single unit. Concerned with something specific. It's a relationship in which a person is linked or associated with and identifying with something together. There's a lot more, but I just thought I'd pull out some key ones. Compassion, meaning of compassion, feeling, emotion, kindness, love, tenderness, heart, good fellowship, awareness, and appreciation. And so I really feel that sort of nutshells the qualities that we can develop in our connections with people. And I will be going through, ideas for connections and things as well after. Okay, so this is my belief about connection, whether it's dealing with an email or whether it's dealing with a situation like this, or whether it's dealing with having a conversation, training someone, coaching someone, and even in the written word, in your sales materials, you've got to actually put yourself into the present moment with what's going on with your potential client. Now, this is really important. If you can sort of assume, and I think Linda pointed out about being conscious, being empathetic with the people in the world today. And I totally agree with that we do need to show our empathy there. And perhaps this isn't going to be as easy or the same to enroll clients. And so we are going to have to sort of shift and pivot a little bit in how we approach. But I would say the most important thing is to be patient and to be, and to express your care and kindness and compassion in ways that they can take in tiny bite sizes, maybe. And then that's going to be easier to help them move forward in solving their issues. And sales will happen naturally. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that too. But I believe that being present to what's going on for your client is part of the secret of, and relating to that and connecting with that, being truly present and connected to them with that moment is part of the secret of not being salesy and pushy. And I want to bring a little example of that. So when you get on the phone with somebody, a potential client, they will talk and they might be telling you about their challenges or their desires and their issues that are going on. And your head or goes, oh, I know how to fix that. I know how to fix that. And you want to go in and jump in and help tell them what to fix. But there's other ways you can ask questions that helps them discover it for themselves. And it also means that you've got to just wait, not rush in. You've just got to wait and allow their intuition and deeper wisdoms to come to the surface in the conversation that you're having with them. And you'll find that you'll actually attract more clients this way. Okay, so I'm just going to invite you to have a little self-examination. How are you coming from a motivation? Are you motivated by your heart energy to others? Are we practice healers? One of our primary motivations. And is your beautiful state of intelligence and your courage energy supporting you in this at the moment so that you can still make a true impact in the world? And we'll go a bit more into the creativity and the courage as we go along. Or you just focused on being motivated on the money? Because the moment, and I've worked with so many people on this, you know, the moment you shift from really being there for a person and allowing your both heart energy, your creative energy and your courage, and also igniting that in your clients, will help them you will make more sales. But when you're focused on, I've got to make this sale, I've got to make this sale, I've got to sign this person up, I've got to make this, you know, sign, it really is against you. And that's what I really learned when I made those 100 calls. I was originally focused on the money. I had to sign people up. So I looked good for my influencer. So I had my money, my bank account filled. But that wasn't how it worked. When you switch to the other mindset and just going in with curiosity to see whether you can help them, then people just started to want to work with us. Okay, if there's any questions, let me know. Okay, we're going to get into a little bit of mechanics of this. 3 ways to connect and attract audience. And this might be very fundamental for some people, but it's just good to review as well. There's freed, paid, and partners. And, you know, I'll go there in a minute, but, you know, there's 3 ways that you can connect with people. And there's paid ways that you can do paid advertising and things. And then there's partners where you might collaborate with somebody and connect with people through others. And so just some of the ways, the connection platforms that are available for you, you know, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, there's podcasts, there's webinars, there's blogs, and there's a whole lot of other social media platforms as well. So it seems really overwhelming. And I think a lot of people are overwhelmed by it. And I'll just like, in the chat box, if you can just point, just tell me either that you're really comfortable with this, because I know some are, or whether you feel a bit overwhelmed and don't know where to start. So if you feel overwhelmed and don't know where to start, put a Y or a yes, and if not, just put a no, because you know what you're doing. I'd like to see what that is. Let me see if I can get there. A couple of people are no's. That's great. Okay, some people have got they're not overwhelmed. They know what they're doing. That's awesome. And other people definitely overwhelmed. Okay. Well, the good news is it's okay to be overwhelmed. And there are ways you can approach it to not be so overwhelmed. But I was also going to ask you is which one of these are you most interested in? Is it Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram? What do you have a preference for? And even the people that said no, what do you just put in what you work with most? Let's see, we've got some answers coming in. I've lost it. I've lost the chat bar. Okay. I can't see. Can you see?
Yep, absolutely. So there's a bit of a mix. Facebook seems to feature quite a lot, as does LinkedIn, Instagram. Yeah. So I think Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn seem to be the three most common ones.
Okay.
Or YouTube, a few people on YouTube. Well, yeah. Say a few, two people on YouTube, or want to do more YouTube. So a bit of a mix.
Awesome. Excellent. So really ways to connect, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about, how to approach this, is ways to connect. There's lots of different ways to connect. And in fact, if you want, I have a sheet, like a check sheet that I'm happy to give you, that has a whole lot of different ways you can connect with people. And it might be just through your message, how you show up, the person that you are, how you communicate, and the ideas come through a lot of the promotional marketing material that you might like to consider, and building relationships, of course. So, I put that because sometimes, I don't know what to do. And I was talking with a beauty therapist who's actually going to move some things online. And she said, but I don't know what to put up, so that was a major thing. What content or what can I produce, do, make, etc., to show up and start that connection with people. So if
Miquette,
you're interested in that list,
can I jump in with an example? Because there's a beautiful lady who is an mBIT coach who has done this exquisitely in an area that you wouldn't have expected to go online. So she's a massage therapist. Her name's Julianne Harvey. Check her out on Facebook. She's an mBIT coach and a massage therapist. And what she's doing in these beautiful little short snippet videos of things you can do for yourself. Lymph drainage the other day, releasing headaches with self-massage. So she's absolutely been creative and taken massage, which you think is only person to person in the same room, and is giving beautiful value to people. Yeah, she's done a really good job.
That's really important. I find that, like, one of the things that I did which is, as I said, I'm only just stepping out, and I've got my new group actually being launched probably next week. But is you can do that. You can take tiny little snippets of your knowledge, wisdom, processes, and make them into cheat sheets. You can do mini videos. I mean, there's so many things. I could spend a long time doing that, but thank you for sharing that, because I think that's really valuable as well. If you need me to go into more specific detail, then we can. Okay, but my recommendation is, so you don't get overwhelmed, is decide on one, because there's actually a strategy for every one of these platforms. There's a whole learning curve for every one of these platforms. Now, so choose one and then get that one up and running, so that you have a system with it and a strategy in place, so that you can commit to following it. Because if you try and do it all at once, it can be very difficult to stay committed and and be regular in what you do. I'm sure there's others that may have experienced that. And then you want to reach out to the people who fit your audience, and there's certainly ways you can do that within all these strategies, with all these platforms. And then if you have an event, so you want to sort of build your audience, and then if you have an event or a group, you can invite them to join that. And then at the right time, after providing, you can give them great value, of course, like what Suzanne was talking about with Julianne. That's the essence. But you really, whatever you're going to do, you really should set up like a strategy or program. So for me, my, say, commitment in my group is to do something on a live tip for everyone once a week on Facebook. And then it would be like because I'm so much into mindset as well, I've got power statements, I've got quotes, I've got certain things that I want to put up every week. But you can actually bulk or batch produce them and schedule them, so you don't have to do this every week. And that's a discussion just all in itself. And then you want to nurture the relationships by starting natural conversations, but not sales pitches. And really, if you follow this process, you will find a percentage will become clients. Okay. And I want to explain, I don't know if I've got it on this one. No. Oh yeah. Okay. I've got it for a little bit further down at another one. So any just questions on connecting, because we can go extremely deep. One of the most popular ways, or a couple of the most popular ways, is certainly with connects in LinkedIn. And the other is there's ways you can find and connect with people on Facebook without spending any advertising dollars. And I do know that many people who are in the startup mode, they're not ready to spend advertising dollars. And I would highly recommend that if you even are going to do Facebook ads, you need to see what's going to be most popular. You'd probably want to do free versions first, and then see what's popular and what works before you spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. And also Facebook ads, unless you're taught how to do it correctly, I'm not an expert on it. I do love the organic traffic methods of connecting with people and building relationships. But make sure that you learn it deeply, because Facebook's changing all the time, and that's the rules and regulations. And I've got friends who are currently in Facebook jail, and they followed it step by step, but they're still in jail, So I don't know. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Another lovely question coming in.
Yeah.
For people who are maybe not as familiar with the kind of nuance of each of them, any advice around how you pick one? Is there a particular kind of client-based type that is more on Facebook, more on LinkedIn? What are the current thinking about that?
Facebook is still sort of the seems to be the biggest one to use, and probably Instagram after that. But it's what you like. What do you want to do? Do you want to be, I always think of it like this. Do you want to be visual? Like, do you want to show up in videos and things? This is the first thing I look at. Do you want to be auditory, like podcasts and interviews and things that are more auditory related, or do you want to write? So that I decide, the first decision I make is which one of those am I best at? Do I prefer? So even though I don't like being on camera, I still chose that as my primary, because to me it makes sense, because I can, with the video, I can actually get it transcribed and turned into words and edit that and change it a bit, which then can go on, you can start multi-purposing your material quite easily, but it's important to start on one platform first, like start somewhere first and get comfortable with it before you go out. Otherwise you're going to feel really overwhelmed. And then, you know, so each one of those, I have a fabulous coach, but he doesn't want to be seen. And so what we came up with is he's going to have a cartoon character of himself, but he's got the most amazing voice. So he's going to be auditory and use some of his, and maybe still do videos, but not show his face. He's going to show his cartoon face. So there's lots of different things. And then you really need to decide what you like and where you want to start from. So a couple of other coaches I've worked with have been mainly written. And so they actually write an article. They get that on a blog, and they also turn that article into a PowerPoint that could actually be videoed. So see what I mean by the starting point? So you can go in all directions, but pick one of the starting points.
Beautiful. That's really helpful. Thank you. Getting some good comments back about that one. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. I can't see them. Look, I'm just going to minimize for a minute this window. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Yeah, I love to see the comments also. Can't see it. Okay. Oh yeah, someone just asked, is it best to know your audience first? Absolutely. We'll go, absolutely. You do. You need to know. And if you don't know your audience, and you don't understand them well, you really need to do research on it. And I did come up with about 12 different ways you can research. You don't need to do them all, but I discovered 12 different ways you can actually research to see whether your idea and who you want to work with is a match, because you also want people not who you just can help, but also that they are happy to pay for the solution. So there's no
some people really do want to hear the 12 ways, but maybe that's got to be another session that we do.
yeah, exactly. And it's pretty heavy going. So I keep promising to put it into a mini course, but at the moment there's only me. So I'm finding it hard to chop myself up into 12 directions.
Yeah, we hear you, and we're really grateful for you giving our time.
That's
and
all right.
For the people in the chat, yes, there is already a second session in our diaries for 2 weeks' time, and we'll put that out once we put the recording of this one out.
Yeah. So I think my most important message here with Connect is you do need to understand your client with compassion and empathy, what they want to solve. But I will tell you now, there are many people who are saying, I want to solve something and I'm happy to pay. There are many people out there ready to do that. So you've got 3 types at the moment, I believe, in the marketplace. One type is, I'm just going to get everything I can for nothing and pay only $7 for stuff and do it myself. You've got another lot that are sitting back and waiting and watching, and they are super valuable for you. Those people are gold for you. Look after them. And the other ones who are ready. So I'm going to explain my hoop theory in a minute. But okay, creativity. You are the problem solver for your audience when you find the right audience and you're solving the right problems. So you really want to engage your incredible brain at this stage, in this time, and really ask it to show up for you, you know, in what are the services and programs that you're offering to solve their situation? Do you need to actually alter and change it a little bit? So for instance, if you had a high-end program, and Linda, this might be appropriate for you, if you have a high-end program, and high-end generally, well, there's different trains of thought, but I'll say anything from about $1,500 and up, and round that 2,000, 3,000 mark is a very popular amount that people charge, or even a $7,000 mentorship. You might decide to break it up in a different way and give it in bite sizes so that it's financially less of a concern for people. Because one of the reasons why people will say no is it's not that they don't have the money, it's that they don't want to let go of the money. And I believe in today's market, people are saying, I'm just going to hang on to it a little bit longer because I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. And I really want to do this, but is there another way? So, Linda, we can have a private discussion on it, but there could be some ways you could poll your audience to find out what would be right for them. Okay. And poll, that's another way of, there's a lot of different ways you can get to know your audience, and interviewing them and polling is two different ones. Okay, so now that you've looked at your services, and you might say, well, I might just alter this or flex it a little bit or pivot a bit. So it's not necessarily about discounting, although you might choose to do that depending on what your products and services and packages are. It could be that you change the payment process. It could be that you break up your program into smaller pieces so it's more bite-sized. It could be that you take a live training program to an online one and you record it and you have it as an evergreen. If you don't understand what an evergreen means, it means that people can buy it at any time without you being involved. It's like a digital download program. Okay, so then you've got client attraction assets. These are, I call them client attraction assets, because these are the things that people become aware of in your marketing and promotions, or even videos, or it doesn't, when I say marketing promotion, it doesn't have to be a written thing, that people are going, oh, that's interesting, I want to know more, or I'll test this, I'll go and start learning about this person and see if I resonate with them. And sometimes I do that. I look at the material and say, I'm not sure if this is a person I want to be with or not, but I'll check it out. So they're your attraction assets, and you need to make sure that you can actually start a business without them, but you will need them as you grow and develop, and sort of, it makes life a lot easier. Then you need to have strategies that you can follow that aren't going to be overwhelming. So a sales process, or a client attraction process that leads them through to want to be able to have a conversation with you, if that's the way you do it. And you want to deliver. You've got to know the ways that you're going to deliver your services or packages. Are you going to do one-on-one Zoom or Skype calls? Are you going to provide replays? Are you going to provide replays, cheat sheets, check sheets, worksheets, audios, transcripts of it? There's a whole realm of things that you can offer to up the value of what you offer without you spending more time in it. And maybe you're going to move something into a group call, or maybe you're going to do the online thing. So there's lots of different ways, because at the moment we certainly can't do workshops and retreats. So you really have to, some people really have to rethink how they're going to deliver their products and services. And if anyone's still not sure on that, we can have a bit of a chat about it. So ways to collaborate with others. Are there people out in your community or in your industry that you know? So one of my coaching clients, she is a plant-based nutritionist, and she specializes with diabetes, reversing diabetes too. So, we looked at, well, who does she know in her world that she can collaborate and maybe do a talk to their clients, to say the doctor's clients. So she's got a physiotherapist, she's got the doctor, and there's a number of people that she's now going to go out to and say, hey, I'd love to provide some information to help people now that they can't come in, get into groups or come into the clinics and different things, on helping them to get on the right path. So she might do some webinars, she might do some paid things. Like, one of the things that you could really do, depending on your services and expertise, is maybe just do a mini training and offer it for $47 US.
I just want to jump in there and say that a lot of the people on the call are coaches. And so within their license, they're not able to train mBraining.
Oh, could you just expand on that, please,
Yeah,
Suzanne?
sure. So
because this is really important.
Yeah, the coaching license enables you to coach and to group coach. You can talk people through a session, you can do group coaching, you can guide them with meditations. There's so much you can do. You can pick up the Loving Your Life package, which is a package ready to run, a business in a box, basically. But you cannot go out and train how to do mBraining. So you couldn't go into a group and start teaching them about HRV, roadmap, prime functions, all of the stuff that you learn in the coach cert for safety reasons. It's a powerful, profound technique. And you need to be a trainer to go and run trainings of mBraining and to integrate mBraining into other trainings that you run. So I just wanted to kind of say that, being aware that there were lots of people on the line who are on the coaching license, not the trainer license.
Yeah, that's really important, and I appreciate you bringing that up, because for myself, I actually do mBraining. I call them power sessions. So embedding type meditations with my group, and this is still talking about business and sales and having your own unique program, and we use mBraining to help them through the process. So often I'll start a session with an mBraining session, guided session, before I go into the other training. So it's just a thought, people. So ladies, great. Okay, and courage. So courage, I would like to ask, have you asked your gut brain to support you in doing and saying and doing this hard stuff? Because sometimes in this situation, we're sort of all going through this, oh, this is a bit different. How are we going to do that? Well, you might need to ask your gut brain to really support you through this process, so that you can do some of the things that you might not like doing, or that you can, or the things that you might have to be honest about with your clients or with your potential clients to help them. To grow and build and be successful in business, we need to have our courage center very active. I really believe that. Otherwise, we stop, we procrastinate. It's our motivation center. Yes, the heart is, we have a desire, but we need our gut brain to implement it. And maybe showing up in Facebook, and there's whole strategies there that you can use to find clients and attract clients, and communicate with them and build the relationships with them without paying advertising. But it takes a little bit of courage if that's not normal, something you wouldn't do normally. So I love what Suzanne, she said this the other day. She said, step out, and I couldn't remember what the other one was.
Step out and step out.
Step up and step out. I love it. I must add that. So that is a quote from Suzanne, is step up and step out and become visible, because people really need you at the moment. And they're not all going to say yes immediately. And I'm going to explain that in a bit more. Just remind me to tell you about the hoop, bringing people through the hoop. So you want to reach out to your audience. Don't wait for them to just find you. Right now, we need to start to reach out to the people that we might be able to help. And that's what I was saying. There's organic ways that we can do that, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. Those three, I would say in particular, it's much easier to reach out and start conversations, really natural conversations. And don't try and just sell them anything. Just see how you can have a conversation that resonates. Find a point of connection where you have something similar that you can talk about. You might go to their Facebook page and go, oh, I noticed you live in Victoria. Hey, I grew up in Victoria. Or I noticed you're an NLP therapist. I've had lots of NLP sessions. I love them. It really helped me,
Miquette, can I throw a Grantism in here? Grant was absolutely
Yes.
brilliant at doing this. He was absolutely the sort of person who, when he saw an opportunity, would say yes and then work out how. And he would say, you don't wait until you're motivated, that, you know, you get out and you take the action first, the motivation will follow. And I had a lovely example of this yesterday. One of my new coaches said, have you got 5 minutes? Have you got 5 minutes? And of course I always have. And so we connected. She said, do you want to get in front of 35,000 people with mBraining? I'm like going, hell yes, of course. What? She said, I don't know how, but I've told them yes, we'll work out the how down the line. So sometimes getting hold of that courage that we know sits at the back of the gut, it sits at the spine, putting some backbone into it. Just take the action, pick up the phone, make connection with someone and just do it. Don't wait to feel like you're ready to do it. That's a real Grant piece of advice.
I love that. And I'd like to add one more thing to it is because that reminds me of be, do, have, right? And so physiologically, you know, get yourself in that position where you feel powerful. Don't slump, you know, just look at your posture and how you're sitting and how you're talking and how you're engaging. So that's a lot of the be bit. Be that leader. And the doing is exactly what Suzanne mentioned. Just do it. And the have will come by itself. So you might need courage to invest, and invest time, effort, or even resources into learning how to be a better marketer or how to find clients or how to do the enrollment conversation. You know, just don't wait for it to come to you. You might find that you have to reach out a little bit as well to learn some of these things. I have to say, you know, I've probably spent over $100,000 on my education in business, just in business, over the last 15 years. And it pays off. It really pays off. So, you know, if you're unsure, find either somebody within your network that you can reach out to maybe learn, maybe do an exchange with them. In fact, talking about exchange, I've just, she's a therapist. And so I said, I think I need a session on XYZ. And she needs help on how to find clients and organically. So we're doing an exchange. And I think in today's world, that could be very helpful for us. So it doesn't stop us. We can still continue because maybe the dollars aren't as fluid. Okay, so what do you need more courage in right now? I'd love you to answer in the chat box. In the area of growing your business and showing up. Let's see if anyone's commenting. I know that's a hard question, guys. Stepping out, yeah. Do something. Stepping out, doing it live. Oh God, I could relate to that one. I do packaging up what I do. Yeah, okay, I love packaging up. Employing the right person. Interesting. Mel, are you referring to like a VA? You can unmute if you want.
What do you mean, BA?
A virtual assistant? Is that what you're saying? Employing the right person.
I just think like all the movies on my website, there's a lot of them, but they're all just homemade by me. And so I feel like I probably need to employ someone who's got better videography skills as well as more marketing knowledge than me and how to put together the promo movies that would be used for the Facebook ads and so on, that would come across more professional than a homemade job.
Yeah. So are you familiar with like Fiverr?
Yeah, I've used Upwork.
Okay.
Before. The only video
Fiverr.
Upworks was rubbish. I didn't like them at all, but people I've employed from Upworks that were quite good. I feel like I probably even need someone in New Zealand so that they can actually, you know, film me, you know, doing the promo clips and give
Oh, yes.
You know, get in this angle, and no, I want you to say it more this way or that way. And, you know, like, I don't know that I can just do the footage and send it off seas to someone to edit. And I don't know how to find that person who's a good graphic designer and a good videographer and a good marketing and salesperson in New Zealand. You know, I just sort of don't even...
might not be one person, darling.
Well, maybe, but I don't even know how to find any of those people. So I just...
Okay. I'll have a think about that for you. I will. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
And give you a comment. Yeah, content creation. There is, oh my God, I love content creation. There are so many ways that you can create content and have an endless possibilities of what to create within your genre. Yeah, there's some of my secrets. Okay. Being visible on, video. Yeah, I totally understand the being visible on video thing, because I mean, I had to really face that myself. You could ask people here to view your videos and provide you with some of their thoughts. Mel, I don't know what you... Oh, Beth says that. Okay. I just looked at your website and it's beautiful. Okay, great. That's a good idea. So Mel, are you okay with that? If people have a look and give you some comments back? Just doing it and stop second guessing. Yeah, Colleen. Just doing it is, you know, imperfect action is better than no action. However, it is good to have a bit of a strategy. I really believe that you need to have a bit of a plan to follow, and then just doing it. Okay, so I want to just talk a bit about competent and 3 areas that I believe you need competence in business. And one is one that you have already. It's the skills and the knowledge that you have and the expertise and the wisdoms you have to help solve people's issues or achieve desires or aspirations. And then the other one is that you need to have client attraction strategies in place, and they might include content creation and how to find clients, whether it be paid, free, or partners. So there's a lot of strategies there you could do, but getting your plan out is the thing, because really business should be done on also something that you really enjoy doing, and also on your terms, so it fits into your lifestyle and everything as well. And then obviously getting good at the enrollment conversation, whether it's a written way within sales letters, whether it's videos, in doing it by webinars and evergreen webinars, or whether it's in person. So there's probably 3 different ways there you can have engagement conversations that enroll people into your programs and services. So they're the 3 areas that we need to become good at. And I think those that have been further down the track in their business, they'd probably agree with me. So yeah, just put in the chat box where you think you might need the most help in. So in a way, Mel, I would put yours more either a combination of client attraction strategy because you're wanting to up-level it, or even the enrollment conversation in up-leveling it. Yes, would that be right? So if anyone else like to comment. Content creation, yeah, I love that. Power therapy is nice, very helpful. People comment, sure, that'd be great. Crashed client attraction strategies. Yeah, I had a feeling that might come up as one of the top ones. Skills and knowledge to solve. Yep. Okay, that's understanding your clients as well. Michelle, just do you want to unmute for a minute and just tell us where you're at? Are you in startup phase, or why are you saying skills and knowledge to solve clients' issues?
Yes, I'm right at the beginning of the startup, so I feel I need to be more equipped.
Okay, terrific. All right, sometimes that's a fallacy. So what I'm going to say on that note, and it's just a thought, although there is times that we do need to get more skills and knowledge in things, and create better competencies. But very often one of the mindsets that we have to have is that you know more than probably the person that you're going to work with. And so you can step into being an expert now.
If I can just add to, sometimes when we kind of come off with our new certificate and we're all excited, but we don't feel confident to go out, just get online onto the Facebook page and offer to do some peer coaching with a couple of people. Do a couple of sessions where it's risk-free, and you will get that convincer inside that you do absolutely know what you're doing. But if you need to do that in a safe place first, I know if you put up for a peer session on that Facebook page, you will get someone saying, hell yes, damn please, yes, I want to do that with you, so that they can also, we've just had probably over 100 and this year, 120 or so new coaches qualified. I guarantee you there'll be somebody else sat there would love to do a practice session with you, and you can get your confidence up.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, I love that. And the same with enrollment conversations, if you're doing them in person or on video, you know, role playing. So I get my clients to role play. And in fact, I've got one happening with me, but they role play with each other, you know, so in breakout sessions and things. But then also sometimes if you can role play also with your mentor, then that can also be a very powerful thing as well. But thanks, Suzanne, for mentioning that, because that's so important. Okay, and then there's consistency. You know, wise to be, what have I got? I think that was meant to be ways, not wise. Okay, my dyslexia is coming out. So ways to be consistent, you know, with your leadership, how you show up, how you're being authentic, to have a solid strategy in place that you can follow, you know, a good plan of action, blocking out time that you're working on your business or in as well as in your business. So the difference between on your business and in your business. So in your business is when you're working with your clients, doing what you do so well, and working on your business is when you are doing the things to put into place, like creating content or creating a lead magnet, you know, an attraction piece, or putting your plan together, or, you know, setting up your Facebook page, optimizing your Facebook profile. All these things is sort of working on it so that you can work in it more effectively. Perhaps branding, colors, fonts, designs might come into the picture for you. When I say posting calendar, I'm talking about how often you show up. So if you're going to use Facebook, do you have, or in any of the social medias actually, how often are you going to interact with them? And there's, you know, it's recommended maybe that you show up more in your personal profile, and because there's all sorts of things with the Facebook. You've got personal profile, you've got groups, you've got fan pages or advertising pages, and you've got also Facebook TV now. So like, where do you do it, and what do you do, and how often do you do it, and what should you be putting up? And when you understand that, then you can create a calendar and actually even schedule things so that you don't have to be doing it all day, or you can even hire a virtual assistant to get you, helping you there. And what are your offers? You know, are you really solving a problem that, and you want to be consistent in being able to do that. And there's a lot more, but it's sort of like, if you know that there's an area that you feel that you need to be more consistent in, where would it show up? What would it be? And, you know, one of the ones for me is because I wasn't visible, like I'm only stepping out to be visible in the Facebook world, as I didn't need to be when I was working with influencers. The biggest challenge is to be consistent in providing content and value to the people in my world. That would be my biggest challenge by far. So what I did was I actually created 50 Facebook posts and to schedule into being posting. if that makes sense. So I batch created a lot, not for the lives, but for things like if you're doing quotes or tips or motivational things, or even some of your videos, like the other day. I'll tell you this little secret. I locked myself out in the morning. And so I thought I'll just do a little video about this, because this is an amazing opportunity for patience and also to pivot where I spend my energy. And I decided to spend my energy on some balanced breathing, so to see if any, to stay calm, but also to see every information. So I did a video on that. I haven't posted it yet. I think I'll do it tomorrow. So it's like putting the marketing hat on and finding all the different opportunities and ways. And once you get into this, it becomes easier, is thinking, and every opportunity I remember, I'm now doing a little Facebook thing on it, and I'll post it up. It may not be super live, but it's sort of like incidental things. Now, some of them I'll do immediately, and some of them I'll just schedule that fits into something else a bit better, if that makes sense. So that's why I say I've really not launched my fully into my consistency mode for my profile and my group, because I've been focused on other things, but next week that's in play. Okay, so tips to focus on in the marketplace today, and we can open this up for discussion as well. Who put Me Too for what was the Me Too in relationship to? I don't know what it's in relationship. Oh, okay, great. 7 tips to focus on today. Here's my little thing is know and understand your audience. And some of you have said you need to do that a bit more. Know what your offering and service and product is that you're going to solve. And some of you need to create product and services, I noticed. Okay, having a strategy to attract your audience, and this includes content creation. So I'm going to just put that there, and build your audience. Now, I think this is one of the most important things. So the thing that I believe in today's world is to really focus on connecting with people to build your audience and nurturing those relationships so that they can really learn to know, like, and trust you. And I want to talk a little bit about the hoop principle. You can see me writing that down there, because there's a couple more. The hoop principle, if you can imagine a big, like a pipeline, and it's got all these hoops right in the pipeline, and you've got, and the people at the very top of the hoop, closest to you, and there's people all the way through this hoop. All right, you want at least 200 people in this pipeline. And the people closest to you are the ones that actually are ready to make a decision now. But there's some people at the very end of the hoop who don't know anything about you. They haven't learned to know, like, and trust you yet, or they're sussing out who they want to connect with. Who might be their next mentor, their next coach, their next practitioner. And they're right at the end of the hoop. So depending on how you nurture the relationship, and in a way tick off their conscious and unconscious questions that are going on in their head, they will start to step over the hoops. Now, there's going to be people at the moment right along that spectrum of hoops. And one of my early mentors, Ross Hancock, 15 years ago, said to me, Miquette, you need to actually have a minimum of 200 people in your pipeline, and then nurture and look after the help, nurture those relationships. And in those days, how I got my clients was I went door to door to the small businesses to set up a time to chat, because we didn't have Skype, we didn't have Zoom. So I'd actually go on their doors and say, this is who I am, what I do. And, you know, I'd love to have a conversation, see, you know, if we're a fit, if I can help you or not, and then go back and have an appointment. And then I'd move them into a mini sale, which was about $400 for an analysis on their business, a deep dive into their business, which was $497. And then if I worked with them, then it was like, you know, $3,000, $5,000 or whatever. So, these days we could do it all online, which is amazing. And so I've taken that knowledge and know-how and now putting it online. But that's the thing, is there are people that might be in your pipeline for 2 or 3 years before they're ready to say yes. And that's okay. And of course, having a strategy with your actual sales process. That means, you know, from attracting them to nurturing them to inviting them for a conversation to, you know, what you're giving. So that it's sort of like there's a system to that, if you like, particularly that we can use online these days. And then having authentic client conversations. And obviously there's a structure to that as well. And I have 7 main questions. Sorry, 7 types of questions, I should say, to ask within a conversation. And if you want those 7 types of questions, I'll send that to you too. Okay, so or we can talk about those type of questions another time, whatever. All right, and I think now, yeah, okay. So the paying clients will come, and that's what my message is about, the pipeline and the hoops. As you nurture, they will step over the hoops until they're ready to come and join you. Maybe never, but there's always a percentage that will. Okay, open to questions. Okay, Beth, I see that. Great, thanks for that, Beth. Nice shoot. Beth says, nice ideas to be consistent. Same. Okay, my big challenge as well.
Yeah, there was a question that came up in the middle of those 7 tips, and I answered from my point of view, but I'd like to hear yours too.
Yeah,
was
sure.
that when you're doing some social media platform, whichever it is, and you know, maybe you're away for whatever reason, is it okay to have periods of silence, or you know, will you lose people because you've gone away for a week?
Yeah, you're better off scheduling some just posts, like schedule, particularly with social media. You can schedule quotes, you can schedule photos, you can, you know, just do your posts. And I don't know if anyone uses, I use Canva at the moment, Canva. There's a free version and then there's an upgraded version, and it allows you to select whatever size you want. Like you can select an Instagram post or an Instagram TV or a Facebook post or a YouTube thumbnail or etc. Right? And you can design it. There's templates there that you can use and photos there that you can use, or you can upload your own. So it's a great way to actually do a bulk of them and then put them in the schedule to post. Now, you know, I'm just going to say that obviously it can be really difficult sometimes to keep up with this all yourself, particularly if you've got children or other jobs and different things. And at a certain point along your journey, you might decide to hire somebody like a virtual assistant for maybe even 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week, depending what you can manage and what you need to do those things for you. So I've actually I had a VA, but I've just got her on hold because I needed to catch up on a whole lot of new stuff before I get her to put it into the system.
Sure. Any comment on things like Hootsuite, where you can, you know, not only schedule but put out to several different platforms at the same time?
Yeah, definitely. There's Hootsuite. There's quite a few of them as well that you just need to find. I like Hootsuite. I think it's a good one. And that way you can multi-purpose them as well. as long as you've got those platforms set up. That's why I say get one set up and underway, and then you can say, okay, I want to now multi-purpose this to my Instagram and to a blog and to this and to that, but just get one up and running at a time is really my recommendation, because I think unless you've got somebody to help you do it all, it just gets pretty overwhelming otherwise.
Sure. And again, in the spirit of collaboration, I'm guessing that if you went out to anyone else that you have seen has been on this call and you set something up new and want some feedback, just send them the link and ask them. And I am guessing that every single person here would say, yeah, sure, I'm happy to look at that for you and give you some feedback on it.
That's a great idea. Absolutely. And I'd really like to invite, or if there's anyone that doesn't want to be invited, I won't be offended at all, but I do have this group happening. It's a free group that you can join, and it will have continual tips and ideas put into it for you. So I'll certainly invite you, and it'll be up to you whether you join or not, if that's okay. You okay with that? Anyone not? Yeah.
Yes, people can choose whether or not they accept the invitation.
Exactly.
So yeah, it feels wholly appropriate that we offer that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. Schedule.
Fantastic.
What scheduler? What scheduler am I using? Because I'm only focusing on Facebook, I just use the Facebook scheduler. Yeah. At the moment, it's within Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly I use that to good effect, because I often go away on long training trips, and I do, I also like to work hard, holiday hard. I'll often go away for a long holiday, particularly over Christmas. I will deliberately, and anyone who's followed my Facebook pages for a while, when I read a book, I put a picture of the cover of the book up and then a quote from the book with the page number. So nice. I do those en masse and then schedule them, and I particularly schedule them for when I know I'm away, so that even though I'm busy training 12-hour days, there's still something drip feeding out into my community.
Okay, Mel, I'm just trying to see what you're asking. If you produce a webinar, does it work better if it's filmed specifically as a webinar, or is it just good if it's a movie of a live event? I don't quite understand the question.
Come off. Yeah, I was going to say come off mute.
Yeah, I did a live event in Auckland and had it filmed, and so I just then afterwards had me just speaking to my webinar audience saying, hi guys, you're about to join this great event, I'm just off to film it live for you now. And then they just watched this live event that had an audience.
Right.
But is it better for people who are a home audience to watch the whole thing that I have filmed directly for them talking to the camera? Or do people still get as much value if they're watching an event where they're just seeing that you're on the stage talking to a whole
Yeah, there's certainly influencers that use that method, and it's relative to, is the sound quality good?
I had a microphone for it, and I had a professional videographer film it.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about it, if it's too long, I'd break it up. Okay, so I'd actually get it sliced up or do it yourself or something and break it up with some headings so that it's more in bite size. So in a way, you could turn it into a mini course as well. Okay, yeah. So it's that, do you have an email list?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it something you were going to give for free, or were you charging for it?
Well, this one, it was like a 2-hour set webinar, and I was charging the events $180.
Yeah.
And I used to have about 100 people at each one. And
fabulous.
Put it as a webinar for $97, but when I did a meeting with a marketing strategist recently, they said that they thought that was massively over delivering for $7 and was going to jeopardize people getting that course, because the short one had so much info in it. They didn't really need to then pay to come and do a live course.
Yeah,
that's colour.
Okay, so I'd like to just speak into that for a moment. So very often what happens, particularly with newbies at doing webinars and Facebook Lives, and we want to, you know, our heart wants to give a lot of value to our clients, but often there's this fine line between giving everything away and so here's the simple version of it. So you still provide a lot of value when you show people what and why, but not how.
Yeah.
Okay, does that make sense? So what and why gives amazing value to create awareness and interest. But the moment you move too much into how, you can lose it. So one of the methods that also does work is you can say, okay, download this cheat sheet on the 5 best blah blah blah. But then and I'm holding a Facebook Live on it, or and I'm, you know, watch this video. But the video, so then, and I'm going to be talking about it. But when you talk about it, like if it's the 3 things or the 5 things or whatever, let's say 3 things, you only go into some detail on one of them. Does that make sense? Yeah. So to then learn about the other 4 or the other 2 or the other whatever, here you can do it by going and purchasing this.
And I think that's really key advice at the moment, because what people are doing is almost with a panic reactive coming out and putting everything up for free. They could well undersell themselves in the longer term. You know, we are going to come out the other end of this. It is only a small blip of time in our whole careers, and we do need to make sure that we are, you know, ready, able to serve as we come out and still earn an ethical business on the back of this. And I'm seeing lots of people give lots and lots of stuff away now that will be on the web forever. It's like it's up. That down the line people might go, oh well, I don't need to see a stress coach because I can get everything I need from that webinar. Or
and just thinking in another way as far as this time goes, because I've been thinking about this myself, it's just time to film it, is create a program. So normally you might do a group program, and let's say you even might be charging 1,000, 2,000 for the group program, or 3,000 or whatever, but create it as an evergreen and sell it for a price point that you believe your clients will purchase, and then have as add-on extra that they can actually join a group, like that once a week you hold a group, and if they want to be part of that, it's XYZ, or if you want to add on, say, 3 one-on-ones, they can self-select the level that they come in at. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter even if you do provide an online program, everybody's got questions. Oh, I'm not clear about this. I'm not sure about that. I need more help. You know, I mean, recently for myself for something, and I was so confused about something in the social media world, and I was going, oh, this is ridiculous. I have done so much research. I have already invested incredible amount of money in learning this, and I still don't have my question really solved. I'm still confused about this issue. So I invested $400 with a coach to do it, to sort it out. In 2 hours, I had it sorted out. So people will when they need it. And for those that are into the health areas, oh my gosh, the world needs you so much at the moment.
absolutely. It's about making us irresistible. How do we become so irresistible in an ethical and non-manipulative way that people are queuing up?
I just want to answer Clive's question. He says, do you have a simple editing program to use? Are you referring, Clive, to video? Good question. Okay, so I've been going down that road also. I think one of the, I have problems with it at the moment, is the Adobe Pro. All right, so there's Adobe Pro. I've also ended up with Create by Vidello, and I really like what you can do. But basically with that, I have to go to Adobe Pro and clean up a video. Like, let's say I'm grabbing one of my testimonial videos, I'm having to clean it up, and then I can I can do certain things with the sound and everything, and then I can actually overlay words or other things or more music and different things in Create. But I have an export problem, so I think they're going to have to refund me. I use Create as well, but find it clunky. Yeah, I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm actually asking for my money back on it because it's just not working. Who uses a good suite of tools? Very good suite of tools. I use, Beth, can you explain what you just said? That find it chunky with longer videos. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So what I find with Create is it's a really, really, really good way. You can add words over it. You can edit it. You can add so many things. But with longer videos, it is super, super difficult. What I do with Create is I've got a couple of screens. So I put the video separately playing on another screen, and I look at the time. Then I go into Create and look at the time marker at the bottom and go, okay, I want this thing to add. Just the longer the video, the slower it is to edit it.
Well, that's yeah, that's interesting. Well, I'm only talking about 1 minute, and I can't export them. It's really funny. So yeah, they're trying to sort it out for me. But you know, there's another one.
A couple of comments in the chat. Both Mel and I have used Movie Maker and find it really good. Camtasia, another one being listed.
Yeah, so Camtasia.
Movie Maker's free. It works really, really well. I've just been doing the Master Coach editing of videos, up to 2-3 hour videos, and it works really beautifully. Takes a little while to save.
So that's with Windows?
Movie Maker, yeah, I'm on Windows. I'm not on Mac, I'm on Windows, and Movie Maker works really well.
Okay, I know some people are using Movie Eye in Mac. Camtasia is very good. Camtasia is better for PCs, and ScreenFlow is better for Mac. I just found it harder to. I just wasn't getting very far with it though, so I found it harder to learn. I'm not very techie. It's the biggest challenge.
Okay, I'm really aware of time, and we've lost quite a few people dropping off already. So
yes, that's it.
You know, we are coming back in 2 weeks, so absolutely reflect on, re-listen, come forward with questions. Feel free to question between the sessions as well. I want to say an absolutely massive thank you to Miquette.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I could sit and listen to you all day. I know we have only just started scratching the surface. I know I'm going to be trying to persuade you to come back for more than 2. And I think I'll have support from everyone else listening. So, you know, I know you're in Mexico. It's quite hard to personally harass you at the moment, but we'll find a way.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask one thing. And that is, if everyone can just think of the biggest aha for them and put it in the chat.
Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Suzanne. I'm sure we will continue.
You know, I mean, we're still going to plan what we were planning anyway, which is the kind of mini course for coaches. But along the way, yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we can empower and upskill some coaches right here, right now in this crisis, to make sure that you're still standing when you come out and they open the doors again.
Yeah, I'll have to. Excellent. It's so
fantastic.
Wonderful to have so many people.
So
thank you so much for participating, everyone.
and I'll put the invite to the next one up on Facebook within the next couple of days. Miquette might email you and ask you some questions so that we tone that, because there was quite a few bits that came up today where people said, oh, I'd love a bit more of that. I'd like the 12.
Yeah, that's what I want to
12
see.
steps. There was a 7 questions. So do feel free to let us know which of those you'd like us to focus on in the next one, and we'll tone it to your needs so that you get the most out of it. And in the meantime, stay absolutely safe. You know, you guys are far too important to go down with this COVID and not be around for the world right now. So stay safe. Love you loads, and we'll
blessings to everyone. Bye now.